What's going on, everybody? This is Joseph from Nerds of Matrimony. Welcome back to Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus. So real quick at the start of this video here, I wanted to show you some extra things you can do on your horse. I actually looked up a couple things. You can actually hang off to the side. If you hold R1 and triangle and push left or right on the control stick, you can hang off to the side. That's so freaking awesome. Once again, not really any practical use. One other thing I want to show off is, you probably guessed that you could do this, but when you stand on aggro, when you stand on top of them, you can actually shoot your bow, which I think is pretty cool. So, welcome back. In the last episode, we took out the second Colossus, Quadratus, the giant bull. And, boy, did I feel bad for killing him. However, Colossus number 3, I'm not going to feel bad at all. This is one of a few Colossi in the game where you're actually going to really enjoy killing this guy because he's kind of a jerk. Now, to get to him, we're going to go on the same path that we went to get to Quadratus. But we're going to go a little bit further. We're not going to go down to the beach. We're actually going to take the land bridge all the way across. And then we're going to hang a left and basically just follow the cliff wall. And that's going to take us all the way there. So, not too difficult to get to. So, yeah. Also, by the way, one more thing about aggro, because I didn't want to keep having trouble controlling him throughout this Let's Play, because it would just make getting to some of these Colossi a lot slower. Because, believe me, when we start, getting further into this, some of these Colossi can be really far away. So, you actually don't have to keep tapping the X button. You can actually just hold it down, and he'll just constantly run. The only problem with this, though, is it can be hard to push other buttons. It can be hard to hold the sword up or to, do other things like that. But yeah, if you just hold X, he'll just constantly run, and you won't have to worry about, timing your button press. Alright, so we're going to hang a left right here, and we're going to follow the wall of this cliff right here, and that's pretty much going to take us all the way to him. So, yeah. This fight, by the way, is considered by a lot of people to be one of the best fights in the game, and I would definitely have to agree. This is also the first Colossus in the game that I would consider to be, like, the first difficult one. This is really the first one where you actually have a chance of dying. So, there's like a massive difficulty spike here. Alrighty, so that is the giant canopy that Dorman was referring to last episode. It's in the middle of this big lake, so we actually have to swim out to it. We have not seen swimming yet in the game, but you can swim. You can swim underwater as well. When you swim underwater, you will actually go faster. In order to swim underwater, you hold down R1, and you will actually swim a little bit faster. However, as you can see, when you swim underwater, your grip meter basically turns into your breath meter. If it runs out, you will automatically die. It doesn't matter if you have full health or not, because you will be out of breath. Your lungs will be filled up with water, and you will not be able to breathe. So just keep that in mind. Swimming underwater is faster, but, if you're not keeping an eye out on that meter on the bottom right corner, you could die. Granted, it does last a pretty good while. Alright, so once we get up here, we're going to climb to the top of this thing, and I hope none of you have a fear of heights, by the way. Not just about this, but about the Colossus itself, because this guy, he is, without a doubt, the tallest one that we are going to fight so far. He's not the tallest one in the game, but out of the ones we fought, he is definitely the tallest one so far. So, yeah, when you get up here, this can be a bit nerve-wracking. You kind of have to make an angled jump right here. By the way, you can see the body of him right there. He's sleeping. But, yeah, you kind of have to make an angled jump right here. Hold down that R1 button, and you should be fine. So when you get over here, you have to execute a grab jump. And the camera angle here is a bit weird because you would think you would have to hold right to jump over to the other side. You actually have to hold down. And it took me a few seconds to figure that out. But there you go. Don't worry if you miss that jump, you'll fall in the water. You actually won't take any damage from falling in the water, so don't worry about that. So we're just going to climb to the top of this thing and start the battle. And my, what a battle this ended up being. I had so much trouble getting on this guy. It was ridiculous. Holy crap, this guy is huge. Say hello to GAIUS, everybody, also known as the Earth Giant. And yes, he does definitely live up to his name. So this guy has 2 weak spots, one on his belly and one on the top of his head. We're going to go to the top of his head first. Yeah, watch out for this guy. He has a ginormous sword that can deal out a lot of damage. He can swing at you. When you're close to him, he'll actually try to stab you with it, like a downward stab. He can also use his feet to stomp. So in order to get on this guy, we have to climb up his arm. We can't climb up his legs, but we can climb up the arm that's holding the sword. But as you can see, he has a big cuff on that hand. So that's actually blocking us from getting up. So we actually have to break a piece of that off. And in order to do that, basically, there's a giant stone circle thing in the middle of the platform here. And basically, you want to get him to swing his sword so it hits that stone thing. When this happens, there's the stone thing right there. When this happens, the impact from it will cause part of that cuff to come off, and then you'll be able to climb. However, you won't be able to climb up right away because it'll trigger a cutscene of him looking all confused. So you'll have to get him to swing at you again, but the second time you get him to swing at you, you actually want him to swing his sword into the ground so it gets stuck like that. And then you will climb up his sword and then climb up his arm. And then you'll get on him that way. So this fight can take a little bit of time because his sword is very long, so you kind of have to lure him over to one side and get him pretty far away from that thing, and then run to the other side and just shoot him with an arrow, and it'll piss him off, and then he'll try to take a swing at you. And believe me, I have no problem killing this guy. This guy is a jerk. This guy is definitely one of the more aggressive Colossi in the game. He is very upset that we have trespassed upon his sleeping place. And he wants to kill you pretty hardcore. He wants to kill you really bad. Just look at that thing. He's definitely the most intimidating looking Colossus we've fought thus far, I can at least say that. Alright, so as you can see, he's standing way too close to that thing. Really what you want to do is you just want to run all the way to the edge on one side, and then just let him walk over to you. And when he gets close enough to you, just make a beeline for the other side, basically. So, yeah. What also makes this guy a little bit hard, by the way, you can see those beams of light right there. Those are the other 2 Colossi that we've killed. I said that in the first episode. When you kill a Colossus, its corpse will shoot up a beam of light into the sky that you can see. So those are the other 2 that we've killed. So anyways, as I was saying, another thing that makes this Colossus pretty difficult is he shakes a lot. And I mean a lot. Your grip meter is going to be put to the test with this Colossus. Once again, there's a bit of a spike in difficulty here with this guy. You know, he is definitely a lot harder than the previous 2 that we've fought, and a lot more aggressive. This is really the first Colossus in the game where you actually have a chance of dying. And believe me, you can die from falling off the top of his head. Well, your health has to be down a little bit. So he completely faked me out there. He swung on the other side of me. I thought he was going to swing on my left side there. So as you can see, he's close to hitting that stone thing, but he's kind of off a little bit. So here I'm standing on it. I'm like, take a swing at me. Take a swing at me. Do it. Do it. And I'm like, oh, there he goes. Run away. Run very far away. Run very far away. So now we have knocked off part of the cuff on his hand or on his arm, and he's looking all confused like, huh? What just happened? Okay, so as you can see, we now have a clear path up his arm. So now we have to get him to swing at us again, get his sword caught on the ground, and then we have to jump up on it and climb up it. You have to be real quick about it because he pulls it out pretty fast. So you actually want to be pretty close to the sword when he swings it into the ground. So you can see here, I was actually pretty far away, and I barely got onto it, but I ended up falling off. When he starts pulling out of the ground, my tip is to just hold the R1 button down. If you hold the R1 button down, usually most of the time you can grab onto the side of the sword. And when you do that, you're going to want to wait for a moment or two for him to straighten the sword out, because otherwise you won't really be able to climb up it. So wait for him to straighten the sword out, climb up it, and then climb up his arm, and then you can get up on top of him. So that's what I do here. So he starts pulling it out of the ground, I start holding on to R1, and I grab onto the side of the sword. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for him to straighten it out, and now I can go up on top of it and start climbing up on his arm. Now, I actually don't do this the first time here. Yeah, I fail like climbing up this guy like 3 times, by the way. Spoiler alert, that's why the video is so long. But really what you want to do is when you get up here to his elbow, there's a little platform right here on my left. It's usually a good idea to stop on that platform and refill your stamina, because when you get up like to his armpit right here, that's when he actually notices you're on him, and he'll start shaking his arm. So as you can see here, I'm struggling trying to get up onto his shoulder. And you cannot climb on any of his armor, you have to climb on his fur. And here we go, my grip meter runs out, and I fall down. Yeah, look at how much damage I took just from falling from his armpits, and he was actually bent over right there, so it was actually closer to the ground. You do take a lot of fall damage in this game, by the way. You don't have to fall very far to take quite a bit of fall damage in this game. But isn't this fight just so freaking epic? By the way, I don't know if I've explained this yet, but if you hold down the L1 button, the camera will actually focus on the Colossus, like it'll focus on its head. You can see the Shrine of Worship over there. Kind of get an idea of where we are. By the way, the beam on the left, the beam of light that's on the left of the Shrine of Worship, that was Valus. The one on the right was Quadratus, I think. Alright, swing at me. I'm gonna shoot you in the guts. He does have a weak spot right there, so that's why it's doing a little bit of damage. Oh no, we pissed him off. Here he goes. Ah, okay. I will say that about this guy. Even though he's one of the more difficult ones, he is definitely a lot of fun to fight. You will definitely feel satisfied when you kill this guy, because he's one of the more difficult ones and he's a bit of a jerk. Alright, so this time I actually stop and rest on this platform right here that's on his elbow. Decide to refill my stamina. Now be careful when you're sitting on this platform, because you can get tossed off when he moves his arm. So as soon as he starts moving his arm, as soon as you start to see Wonder lose his balance, just hold the R1 button down and you should be able to grab onto the ledge of the platform. Alright, so as you can see, he's looking over there, he's like, huh? What are you doing there? Get off me! And I'm like, no. Pay no attention to the small ant that's climbing on your shoulder. Now here I try to jump up onto it, and I accidentally pushed the wrong direction and did a grab jump, and I jumped off of it. That was totally my fault, but whatever. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. I promise I actually get all the way up on him this time. This is kind of like one of those fights where like it could go either way. Like it could either be one of the easiest fights or it could be one of the most difficult ones. As for me right now, it's a difficult one. Just because I'm recording it. By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but you've probably seen it. Your health does regenerate slowly over time. So, you know, when you take damage, it's not permanent. Your health will regenerate. Crouching will actually make your health regenerate a little bit faster too, just like it does with your grip meter. Alright, so we're actually going to get to the top of him this time. We're actually going to start doing some real damage to him. You could technically actually kill every Colossus just by shooting it with arrows. You don't even have to shoot them in their vital signs. Granted, it would take a very long time. By the way, I also haven't mentioned this. You have unlimited arrows, so don't be afraid about being liberal with your arrows, because you have an unlimited supply. Doesn't make much sense, but once again, this is a video game, so who cares? So yeah, as you can see here, I am struggling a little bit, but I promise I actually do get to the top of him this time. Alrighty, so we're going to climb back up here and get on this platform again, refill my stamina, and I'm actually going to make it to the top of him this time, folks. I'm actually going to make it up there. When you get up there, like I said, the weak spot is on the top of his head. If you start running low on stamina, you can actually rest on his shoulder. There's a little small window on his shoulder where you can stand, and you should not lose your balance at all when he moves. Again, if you start to lose your balance, just hold R1, because there's plenty of fur back here on his back that you can hold on to, as you can see. Alright, so I decided to actually climb up, and I finally got there. Look at that. We are finally here, and I almost lost my balance there. Alright, so I'm going to regain my stamina here a little bit. Go up to this head. You can't actually run all the way up to his head. There's a little dip here, so you have to climb the last little bit. And once again, this guy shakes like a madman. Oh my gosh, this is so epic. And here he goes. Oh my goodness, hold on, Wonder, hold on for dear life. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Like, this video and my commentary can't do it justice. Like, just the sense of adrenaline when you fight this guy is just amazing. As you can see here, I somehow managed to latch onto his ear. Not really sure how that happened. So I'm like, oh crap, I can't get off of this thing, so I just decided to let go. Come back here on his back and rest up a little bit more. Yeah, be careful about that too. When he bends backwards like that, he can throw you off. Alright, so we're going to go back up here and get some more hits in. As you can see, as I said in the first episode, Wonder will just flail around at the slightest movement. It's kind of ridiculous. So as you can see there, I kind of missed the glyph with that stab, so it did a little bit amount of damage, but not near as much. And I missed that stab right there. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes you may want to go with smaller stabs, especially if you're getting thrown around quite a bit. Smaller stabs might be a better way to go. Because they do, I mean, they still do a fairly significant amount of damage. Yes, he is not very happy that we are on him right now. He is very upset. Man, just listen to that music, it's so freaking epic. I love this game! This game is amazing. If you haven't played it, you need to get it. This game is so freaking awesome. A few years ago, G4 TV did the top 100 video games of all time, and they actually ranked this game like number 9, I believe. So, I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what they ranked it as. Like I said, I would definitely put this in the top 20 best games I've ever played. I don't know about top 10, but definitely top 20. Okay, so I believe, yes, that glyph is done. When you see that big puff of smoke come out, that means the glyph has been erased. So now we actually have to get onto his stomach. There are 2 ways you can do this. You could either go up to the front of his shoulder and jump off and just hold R1 and hope that you latch onto it. Or you could actually do what I probably should have done and just climb down his back here, because there's a platform that goes all the way around his waist that you can land on, and you could just go about it that way. Your other option, if you just happen to fall off like I do, I actually purposely fell off here. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I was trying to drop down and grab onto it, but I missed. But another option you can use is you could just fall off on purpose and then just climb back up onto him. And when you get onto his arm, like when you get to where his elbow is, you can actually just jump off and try to reach his torso that way. You can either do a grab jump from his arm. There's the stab attack, by the way. You could either do a grab jump from his arm to his stomach, or you could do what I'm going to do and get on the platform that's on his elbow and jump from there. Basically just jump and hold the R1 button and hope for the best. That's that's really all you can do. Man, this Colossus looks really good, by the way. This is definitely one of my favorite looking Colossi in the game. He looks so freaking cool. I love when they're like the Colossi attack, how their eyes turn all orange. That's so cool. All right, so I'm gonna get on the platform on his elbow and make a big leap of faith over to his stomach. Now his stomach does the sweet spot. I actually know where it's at. It's kind of like not quite in the middle. It's kind of a little bit lower. It's basically the sweet spot. It's on the right side of the glyph, a little bit lower than halfway up. I think that's where it is. I tried getting to it and I just completely failed. So I was just like, screw it. I'll just, you know, stab him when I get the chance. Because that is the one good thing about this glyph. You have this little platform right here. So if you start losing your grip, you can just hop down. Granted, he can shake you off with this, so be careful. You're not totally immune. By the way, the smallest movement here will cause you to flail around like a rag doll because, I mean, it's his torso. This is where all of his transfer of weight takes place, so, you know. So I go for a couple of small stabs here just to kind of get him off. So I can't quite get the next one. So I end up just falling back down here and recovering my stamina a little bit and going back up and making a second attempt at it. So I started hearing that little beeping noise, so I was like, okay, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to come down here, rest up a little bit, and there we go. Down goes the Earth Giant. Take that. So satisfying. So satisfying taking down this guy. I do not feel bad at all for killing this one. Down goes the mighty Earth Giant. Oh no, we're stunned. No, get up! Get up before the death spaghetti gets you! Ah! My cat's sitting on the other couch. He just gave me this glare like, what the heck was that? That was really funny. Anyways, so that is Colossus number 3. That was GAIUS, the Earth Giant. Epic fights. Really fun. Big spike in difficulty, though. Alrighty, so in case you couldn't figure it out from the hint, the next Colossus we're going to fight is in the graveyard. So that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. This is Joseph from Nerds and Matrimony saying, join me next time on Shadow of the Colossus. We will go after number 4. Goodbye.